Before this fan fiction starts, this is a warning. This is a clop fiction, which means it's gonna be some stuff in there you don't want to hear and stuff. And I will tell you right now, if you don't like to hear that kind of stuff, you should walk away from the video right now. Walk. I'm giving you a chance. Walk away. Walk. It's clop fiction. This is some serious business. Hello. I'm doing a friend right here. We're doing a fanfic called The Scootaloo's Diary. Yeah, Scootaloo's Diary. This is the first entry. And the entry is Cheerlie. Let's start this fanfic off, shall we? It's not complete. I'm just doing it for a friend. So let's get started, shall we? Rainbow Dash quickly flew up to the safety of the clouds, clenching in her hooves a book of interest. She held a diary, one she managed to swipe from Scootaloo's saddlebag without her knowing. Rainbow Dash is a thief now? Okay. Now she rests atop a cloud, eager to evade her little friend's privacy. In the most intimate of ways. With a light chuckle and a lick of the tip of her hoof, she opened the book and turned to the first page. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, diary. Today was an exciting day. I finally got to have fun with my latest crush, Cheerlie. My grades were slipping, so Cheerlie decided to punish me. Oh. Today after school, I had to stay behind and to help bring the toys and balls inside from the playground. Aw. It was really hot out today, and I could feel sweat already dribbling down my forehead and sides. Cheerlie was the only other pony out there helping me, and she looked just as hot, if not hotter. I couldn't help but stare at her flank, the curved back as she lifted each playground item with her teeth. I think at some point she saw me looking because she gave me a wink right before she started behaving even more sexually. I wiped the sweat off my head with my forearm. I remember what she said right then too. You feeling okay, Scoot? It really is hot out here. You might want to take it easy. I just laughed and told her that I could handle anything. As soon as the last toy was collected, I followed her inside. I asked if I could go, and she said of course not. She told me to take a seat. So I sat on my desk and waited for her to lecture me. I sure was surprised at what she said next. We need to get a few things out in the open. First of all, I heard a thing you've been saying about me to your little friends. I was stunned. I didn't know how to react to this. What did she hear? She trying to get me to confess to her? I had no clue, but wasn't about to say anything stupid. I just said, what do you mean? I haven't said anything bad about you. She once again failed to reply the way I thought she would. She said, oh, that's just it, Scootaloo. I know you haven't been saying bad things about me. What you have been saying is disturbing nonetheless. Okay, I'll admit, I was really nervous at this point. I didn't know what to say. But I was sure she knew my secret. What do you think did you hear? I asked. I wasn't sure I wanted to know. I blushed even more than I ever blushed before, especially when she smiled and lowered her eyebrows. She began trotting over towards me, and I almost freaked out and ran away. For some reason, I made myself stay cool. She placed a hoof on my face and asked me the weirdest question I ever expected her to ask. So you say I have the nicest flank you've ever seen, right? Even nicer than Rainbow Dash? I gulped, being honest with myself. She really did have the nicest flank I've ever seen. Hey, come on! Rainbow Dash shouted as she slapped the page she was reading. She stood up and looked at her flank, wiggling it provocatively in the air. My flank's nice, she said with a pout before collapsing down on the cloud and continued to read. Yes, Miss Cheerlie. That was all I could say. I wanted to tell her exactly how sexy I thought of that flank of hers really was. That's good. So the reason you're here right now is because your grades have been slipping lately. Maybe you're not motivated enough. What can I do to motivate you? Those were the exact words, and I had the perfect answer, even though I could never bring myself to say it. I sat silent, knowing what she was getting at. I wanted so bad to tell her what she could do to motivate me, but I just couldn't. Then another surprise. She did it for me. Whoa! What's happening? I felt her hooves touch each side of my face and pull me into hers. Her lips brushed against mine, and before I knew it, we were kissing. She quickly pulled away and left me silently begging for more. This is what's in store for you if your grades improve, Scootaloo. Is this what you want? She told me as she backed up into her desk. I just nodded. My hooves were shaking and I could hardly breathe. She pushed everything off of her desk with her front legs, sending paper and desk ornaments scattering across the floor. Then she climbed on the desk and laid on her back. I just stared and felt my heart begin to race. Then she signaled me over with her hoof. As I trotted over to her, she licked her lips and ran her hoof down her long, slender body. By the time I reached the desk, she had arched her back and placed a hoof between her legs. What the hell? Whoa! Whoa! I was losing my cool. And I knew this would be my only chance with Cheerlie. I couldn't blow it. Rainbow Dash wiped a bead of sweat from her head and nervously looked around, feeling a bit awkward. She cleared her throat and reassured that she was completely alone, then turned the page to continue reading. I made eye contact with her and quickly lost myself. I jumped onto a desk next to her and placed a hoof on her chest. She winked again and pulled me on top of her. If you get a F or a D on your next test, I'll send you home. I'll send you home. If you get a C, you get this, she said as she pulled me into another kiss. I didn't answer. I hardly heard any of her words. I felt her tongue slip into my mouth and my heart exploded. Can they explode? I've never kissed anyone like this before. I wasn't sure what to do. Cheerlie didn't seem to notice. She just kept kissing and swirling her tongue around my mouth. I felt her start to bite in my lap with her hoof running down my flank. With a smack where my cutie mark should be. She spoke again. Now, want to know what you get when you get a B on your next test? Before I could answer the question, she pushed my head down between her legs and placed her back hoof on my wing. I gulped and felt a chill shoot up my spine. This was really too much. I couldn't say I didn't want to. I love the thought. It was something I imagined every night at home before I fell asleep. There was no way I'll pass this chance up. With a deep breath, I closed my eyes and let instinct take over. I stuck my tongue out and licked her the way I imagined I wanted to lick. Imagine I wanted to be licked. I think she liked it because I felt her back hooves run down the back of my wing and sides, pulling me in closer. I kept licking her and felt her getting wetter. What? I'm not sure if it was from my saliva she getting closer to coming. What? Oh wow. Okay. All I know is the taste was exciting. I'll never forget it. She leaned up and placed her hooves on my back of my head and pulled me tightly up against her. I felt my tongue slip inside as she squeezed it with her tight pulsating muscles. At this point, all I wanted was to make her come. I wanted to hear her scream it out. That's the spot, kid, right there. Right there, yes! She said something along those lines as I felt her squeeze me one last time before she soaked my nose with her orgasmic fluids. It was amazing. Rainbow Dash threw the book down on the clouds. No way, this is real. She looked over the cloud and spotted a few ponies looking up, trying to determine the source of the shouting. She placed a hoof on her head and tried to consider the possibility that Scootaloo made all of this up. But the explicit details denied it otherwise. She turned the page and read on. Okay, let's see. Cheerlie lifted me up and stuck her tongue back in my mouth. I couldn't believe this was really happening. I don't think I never grasped on the reality of the situation the entire time I was there. only now am I able to reflect on what happened. I realized what she was doing, what she wants to do, because of what she said next. Once you get an A in your test, I'll do you. Would you like that, Scootaloo? There was nothing more motivational than the thought of Cheerlie going down on me. I'm definitely going to get an A on my next test. I have to. Scootaloo signing out. Rainbow closed the book and fell over on her back. There was much more than she ever imagined. She lifted the diary with her hoof and read over the front cover, "Property of Scootaloo. Stay out, or Rainbow Dash will kick your flank." With a chuckle, she considered what the next entry would be. Being perfectly honest, she was enjoying this way too much. That was the first entry of Scootaloo's diary. Check out for the next entry